Hey YouTube, how you doing? Kevin here, coming out to you with another video. Okay, so what I'm doing tonight is I talk to you guys a little bit about the pull choke, the remote choke system. And tonight we're going to get into that. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about it, show you a little bit about it, and I'm going to blow your mind up a little bit, which you guys are going to absolutely love. So this is going on my KE102 build, but you can do this to any Kawasaki KE100, KD80, KD100, KM100, KE100, KH, KV, basically any one of these bikes. Alright, real simple to do, real awesome. So, well, let me show you what we're replacing. Okay, this is the choke lever right here that's on the carburetor right now. On your Kawasaki KE100s. You got your little knob, and it comes through the rubber right up through here. Okay, you can see I have a cable now going through that. Nice tight fit, and it goes into the new choke. But I'm going to show you what that looks like, and all about that. Because I already rebuilt this carburetor, so it's already in there and tight. So I'll explain to you all that anyway. So this is your plunger right here. This screws into your carburetor, this piece right here, this brass piece. And then when you pull up on your choke, it basically pulls it up, detents it, and allows the choke to work. So the new mechanism that we're using is real simple. It's got the fitting on it for the cable. It's got a spring, which is, this is not the spring, but it's a little longer, to, you know, the one that goes to it. But giving you the idea, it would stick down, it'll look about that far out. And then you got this little piece, this little brass piece. See the hole? That's where the cable fits in. And like that. So when you pull on the lever, it pushes it up, and then when you let off the cable, the spring pushes it back down. And that's basically the same thing. You just not bend it down to pull it up. So that's what that mechanism looks like right there. As you know, different heavier duty spring on the remote one than it is on the pull one. Okay. So basically, that's it for a nutshell. The cable comes down through here. Goes into that brass, into the carburetor, and works on the pull choke. And then on the other end, let me show you what that end looks like. I call it the specialty end because it's got the brace, you know, the little chrome piece right here fits into the choke. And then when you pull on that, it'll activate the, what do you call it, the choke. So, that system right there is used on the Kawasaki Trail Boss 100s, and to replace this piece right here, because the choke is right at the bottom of it. I'll show you what that one looks like. It basically looks exactly like this one, but it's gray and has the choke at the bottom. See? Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, that looks dated, it looks ugly, and I don't want that on my handlebars. You are absolutely correct. We're not going to use that. That is absolutely pitiful. We don't want to use that. So we're going to take you guys to another bike. Okay? I'm going to take you guys to a 1979 KE125. Well, we'll go all the way up to the KE175 and 1979. So, that one looks a little different than that ugly gray one you just saw. Now, mind you, I say ugly gray one. It looks good on the bike that it came off of. Okay, because everything is matched. I say it's ugly because you're going to have a black one on one side and that gray one on the other. Well, I'd rather have the black one because it looks cooler on my bike. But if I had, personally, if I owned an older bike, I'd want the gray one. Okay, just so you know. So I'm not calling your bike ugly. I'm saying it would look ugly on my bike because I'm going to have a gray one on one side and a black one on the other unless I change the other side. Then it wouldn't look bad. However, this bike's all black and going to be green. So here she is. Oh, look at that. That looks cool. Got the choke at the bottom, just like the gray one. Horn button, turn, and high and low. This is a new old stock part. Right here, see? Same thing. Everything basically looks the same except for the bottom. One's got a choke, one don't. But we have a problem. we can't use this one with the choke. I know, it's kind of sad. It's got a different connector on it. It's not compatible with our bike because it's not made for our bike, not made for our electrical. So this one that we have has two wires, two different plug-ins, one with push pins and the four square female connector. This one has a 9-pin male connector, and it's cool, but we can't use it. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to make it happen. So let's see if I can get you guys into the thing here. If I can get you like that. Yeah, perfect. Look at that. We're going to remove all the choke components. We're going to remove the two mounting screws. And we are going to take apart one of these switches. The tool that we're going to be mainly using is this screwdriver right here. This is a Phillips. You slide it out and it's got a flathead on the other end. I got this at AutoZone. I always go to the Zone because that's the only place in the world to get parts. AutoZone. There are other dealerships, not dealership, part stores, but if it doesn't say AutoZone on it, you're not in the zone. So, there you go. Some free advertising for AutoZone. Okay, on my channel, which we do bikes. But anyway, whatever. So, but that's where I shop. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these apart and switch over all the electrical components. So this one right here has electrical tape in the middle there, so we're just going to cut that tape. Just a regular pair of skizzers. I call these skizzers, not scissors, because these things can cut to a penny. Imagine that. Imagine cutting to a penny with a pair of skizzers. Yeah. Can you say break or dull? Alright, pull this part right here. Remove that, throw that out. And we're going to wash all this when it's on the bike anyway. So you kind of want to just, there's a hole at the bottom right there. It just feeds up through. Oh, found some more electrical tape. Halfway down. I don't know if it's factory electrical tape, which is not normal. I think it's held on there with a couple of those, what do you call it there, straps. But I don't care. We're not using them anyway, so. And then it just pulls right through, and then just watch your ends. Sometimes you have to take them one at a time. And now the whole top part of that switch is removed. Okay. Now the bottom part of the switch is the tricky part because there is some moving parts that can come out. There's some washers and everything else. This right here is your turn signal switch. So if you're going to clean anything, you're going to spray contact cleaner up inside here because that's where it makes the switching. And as you can see, it's held in with 3 screws. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so we're going to remove those screws if they come out. Hopefully they do. Gotta love these screwdrivers. Be very careful when you take these things apart because there's little parts and pieces, little washers that can come out with it. Okay, so you want to keep them all in a uniform pattern, if you will. Okay. This is the button that I'm taking off right now. That upper screw holds the button, so I'm putting that screw up top. And then the side screw, forgot I already loosened it. It's off the bottom. And this is the retainer screw. That's going to hold on that wire retainer right there. It's not a ground, it's just a wire retainer. Okay, and then I'm going to see if I can pull these up gently. You don't need to monkey them. Sometimes you need to persuade them a little bit. But nothing too dramatic. Don't go crazy with them. If it doesn't come right out, try a pick. See if you can use a pick set. I have this needle that I use, and you can get this needle at a craft store. And I find it very handy. In fact, it's so handy I keep it in the kitchen. It's just a long needle. It's for sewing or something. I found it in a clean out, and I've been using it ever since. And last time I saw one of these, I should have bought it, but it was at, what do you call it there, a craft store. So you're probably asking, why was he at a craft store? I was getting married. We made our little, what do you call it there, thingies for the tables. Okay, I'm just prying back a little bit. I'm not pulling in one spot. It looks like there's a retainer. See if I can get this out without incident. I'm up underneath of it. Right there. Just trying to pry it up. Keep popping off the end of it. Don't any screws out, son? Nope. See right there on the end. Sometimes they come right out. Sometimes they don't. And in this case, this one's not coming out too well. Looks like it folds up under there. Just try this one another different way. Flathead. I've never taken one of these apart, guys. This is the first time for me as well as you. Okay, there is a retainer. That top piece is a retainer. Be careful taking it apart because you don't want to bend the retainer all the heck. Okay, got the button out. Just like that. Boom. There it is right there. Okay. So now we got the electrical out. The retainer just basically holds that in. And everything looks good. Swell. Beautifully. Okay. So then we're going to take apart. Now this is the one we need. The four female. We'll put that off to the side. Put this. We don't need that. Okay. Now for the new one. The new one is also held in with electrical tape on both ends. Now this one was manufactured differently than the ones we had. This one has everything going into both sets of wires going into one plug. And normally what I would do is I'd pop the pins out in here with the needle and pull them out individually. Which I could do, I guess, for the intensive purposes of this video, in case you're watching and you're working on a KE125. I guess this right here would do it. Typically I would cut the wires. I might end up doing that anyway, but I'm going to see if I can show you guys how to pull the wires out. So you're only doing the red wires, but we're going to pull back this this covering. So we're going to slide that back. Pull it back as far back as you can. That way you have plenty of room to work. Okay, so we separate it right here. You got these three wires right here. We only need to pull out these three wires. So we're looking at it, and we got the top two right here. So we're going to try working on the top two, see if we can get these wires out. So in here, there's little pins. We're going to see if we can pull these out by collapsing the pin. There is a special tool for this that I do not have. Okay, got one. All I'm doing is I'm going into the groove. I'm pushing the wire in. And then I'm pushing the needle. Now be careful, if you go too hard on this needle, it can go right through your finger. So you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you're doing it very carefully. I'm pulling down to release the wire. Okay, now on here, you see this little tab? You can see a tab now. That's what locks it in. That's your locking tab. Okay? So, and what I would do before I pull this apart, I would draw a picture of this and mark where the wires came out of. Like I'd put the black and white, the red with the black stripe on the, you know, draw a picture of it with a little tab. And then I would say, you know, red with black, top left corner. Red, solid, top, you know, right, you know, middle. You know what I mean? Or however, whichever way I came out of it. Okay, I do it that way. And then the next one I do is the red with the orange. That way you know which way they came out. So basically, what I would do, I would just basically take a piece of paper, straight piece of paper, do a square, put the end, the little, you know, clip, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I'd go that way, and then this one comes off the side, so I'd go this way, and then I'd go red with yellow, red with black, and then red. That way I knew where they went, and I'd probably just circle them just so I know what their locations would be. And that way, when I go to do it, I could push them back in, and they'd all be in the right spot. That's if you're doing it that way. We're not doing it that way, but I'm just, you know, for intents and purposes on the video, in case you're working on a different bike, that's how I would do it. And then I got one more to pull out. And then if I ever did get a 125 that needed this, this part, I would have it. Because I'm not going to throw it away, I'll just put it in my parts bin if I can get the wire out. Like I said, these things can be tricky to get out, you know. You're just pushing on that tab with the tip of the needle. Now that that's out, all 3 wires are out and they're in good shape, which I saved it. I will then pull the wiring out, which separates it like that. Put this black, you know, back on here. And now when I go to take it apart, I can just pull that off. And now I got the switch out. Now I can do one of two things, okay? Where both of these are in absolutely awesome condition, okay? Where they're in excellent condition. I could either A, rewire this one, or B, use that one. I'm probably just going to go with using the factory one. So, save myself a little bit of aggravation, and I'll put this one off to the side. It's got the yellow writing, which would match the bottom one. What do you guys think? Should we switch it over? Yeah, let's switch it over. What the heck? It all matches. Yellow on one side, white on the other. That's not too bad. Okay. First, I got to make sure they're the same switch underneath, because they have used different switches, and in this case, they are. Alright, so, the first things first, to take the knob off, you get the one screw on the side. Oh, I got to switch my screwdriver back over. Just screws in the middle. Pops that off just like that. There's a little brass, what do you call it, the guide. Some of these you might have to use a number 2. Well, it's really in there. Okay, hold on. Just kidding, guys. I'm just banging on though. Had to make it sound industrial, you know what I mean? For all intents of the video. And then I just make sure I put them in an area where I know it's clean and I'm able to get everything out of it. Okay. So, and it's another retainer clip. For these, I'm using number 2. These screws are in there. These are nice and tight. Okay, pull it off. I'm going to put the screw back in, that way I know which way this came out of. So if you're not sure, you can either take a picture, use my video as a reference, and then that right there should just pop out. That right there is the contacts right there. And then you switch. You don't have to remove the switch, but that's got brand new contacts. So I'm going to keep that switch part in there. I'm just going to change the electrical to it. Put that electrical off to the side. Okay. I'm leaving the contacts in here because this is a brand new switch. I'm actually taking apart. So, I kind of don't want to take it apart and not be able to use anything. So, this part can actually, I'm just going to leave that switch knob right on there because we're not even changing that part of the switch. Come to find out, so. And of course it's my KE102 build. So I'm going to use the best of every part I can put into it. Yeah, this one wasn't tight at all. The other one, Jesus. You heard me banging on the steel with a sledgehammer. Okay, now we're going to pop this out, and that's all there is to it. See the connections? We're going to clean them up. Now's the time to clean them up. So, you want to clean something up? WD-40, great cleaner. Awesome cleaner. Spray a little bit on. Let it work in for a second. Then I just wipe it with a rag. Look at that, huh? As if by magic. Good contacts, nothing's melted. No, looks good to me. These things can get hot. You want to check what you're looking for right now. Is you want to make sure these connections are not loose. And there's no, like you can see like some of the plastic, but that's how they melt, that's how they made it. You just want to make sure that they're not loose in there. Okay, they got to be nice and firm. Okay, this is actually a good switch. Came off of a good switch. This is the one with the yellow writing? Yes, it is. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Okay. Then, you just basically put it back together the way you took it apart. Carefully. Okay. I'm in that way right there. Got that in. Retainer, 2 retainer. Pop my retainers back in. You don't need to monkey tighten them. Just give them a good old snug. Like a snug a bug in a rug, you know? Okay. Just fit your fittings back in there just the way they came out. Remember, you're not reinventing the wheel, you're just putting it right back together the way it came out. Make sure it all fits in there nicely. Okay. Then I'm going to put the brass, basically what it rides on there. Slip the switch tip back on there, and then the screw back into the side of it. Turns out you can use a number 2 Phillips. You don't need to use that little screwdriver. And here's my switch. High and low. Here, click, click. Everything looks nice and tidy underneath there. And then that's how the bottom of the switch looks. Pretty nice, huh? Okay, so now that we get that all done, beautifully. Now we'll do the bottom part of the switch. Now the reason why we're switching it over is simple. We need the choke at the bottom. We need this piece right here, because that's where our choke cable is going to be, right underneath our starter button. I mean our horn button. So now we'll pull this apart right here and switch that stuff out. Okay, that is really in there. This retainer is not. Let me just kind of menu over here where I'm working here. You guys can see what I'm doing. There's 3 retainers. 1 retainer right here. Magnetic screwdriver. Love those things. Okay. That tab right there is on the outside. Make note of that. Okay. It's a nice healthy switch. Okay. The arm, which is what we're going to use. We're not going to use the one from the other switch. We're going to use this one. Okay, it's got the white dot on it. Looks pretty. Okay. And that's it right there. Okay, now for the next part, the retainer part. Okay. This is the one we had a problem with on the last one. Hopefully we don't have that same problem. Hopefully it just pops right back out. Yep, this one looks like it's going to be a good one. Notice the routing of the wires. Okay. Real tight fit in there, guys. Okay. And now we get the horn button. Nice and clean in there. Alright, so this one here came apart on the other one. So, what I'm going to do is take a look and see how it's put together and find out what I have to do to fix the other one, or I just unsolder it. What to do here, what to do. Let's try fixing that other one first, because there's really nothing wrong with it. Just didn't come apart the right way because it was stuck. Okay. Got that right there. Oh yeah, I see what happened. Alright. That goes in like that. We'll find out which way the spring goes. Alright, I got it. Okay, so we're actually going to fix the other one. When I pried up on it, it bent it a little bit, so we're going to reattach it to the wiring, if I can figure out which way I put the wiring. Okay, got that right here. Alright, so we got the wiring part right here. This goes over that like so. One part keys in at the bottom, and the other part's supposed to key in up top. And then we're just going to bend it back to where it goes, and we should be good. Let me grab a pair of needle nose. I can find a pair. I don't know if I have any in the house. Of course, I wasn't planning on doing that part of it. Alright. That's how the switch right there looks. Just like that. So when you push on the button, it goes beep, 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 makes contact, and boom. You want to make sure that the box is nice and squared, which it is. Everything looks good. Coach like the pickle. Beep, beep, beep. And I can't see any imperfections or any problems with this. So, with that said, I'm going to give it a little cleaning with some WD-40 because I had a little bit of corrosion in there. Now I could solder it and unsolder it and put the other one on there, and if I ever have to I can, but I don't see the issue with it the way it is. So, I'm just going to leave it. Because there's really nothing wrong with it. Okay. Beep, beep, beep. That's the horn right there. Okay, so I got that cleaned up. Got that cleaned out. And where did I do with the bottom of the, here it is, right here. This one here, the choke button's gonna go in like that. On this side. Not choke button, I keep calling it. I am messing up my words, something wicked, guys. I'm sorry. The horn button. Horn. Here we go. Put that in like that. It just slid right in. You see that? And that's how it goes. Just the way it came apart. And we'll put this horn button in a little bit further until it latches into its proper cradle down bottom. It's got a place that goes at the bottom. So it seats in there properly. Yeah, got to fit in back of that little lip. There's a little lip. See if I can show this to you guys. Right here. See these two little tabs, right? There's one there and one there. The horn button has to fit in back of that, or else it's not going to be in there right. If you can't put it in back of it, it ain't gonna be right. So I think I got it. Yep, I got it. Good. Let me shrink you guys back down. Here we go. Okay. Don't have to reinvent the wheel, like I said. Just gotta make sure it's done right. Because if it's not, that won't be good. Okay. The horn retainer is in. I'm pushing on the button and it's not coming out the bottom, which is good. The retainer is nice and flat and squared off, so everything is back to the way it's supposed to be. The wire is routed around it. This is pushed back in. So next thing we're going to do is install the retainer. This one's a little bent. This is the one that came out of it. I'm going to go with that one. Just because it's a little stronger. See how it holds the wire in. Okay. Just like that. Oh, actually that's the wrong one. This is the one I want right here. Basically the same screw, but okay. Make sure it's in there nice and squared. Right there so far, guys. I'm going to move this switch over. That's my horn. I'm going to use the new one with the button. It's going to fit right into that hole. Just like so. Don't want to bend that rod either. You want to make sure you get that in there nice and good. Nice and good. There's a new combination of words for you. Nice and good, guys. Nice and good. I feel like an Italian guy living in Sicily. Nice and good. I am Italian though. And my mother was from Sicily. So I guess I could say that. Who knew? Okay. Okay. Looks good, huh, guys? Okay. Always make sure that's that what do you call it there? The screw is in there tight. Which it is. That's what the inside looks like right there. And I like to give it a little shot of WD. Don't need a lot. And then what I'll do is I'll move it over. Blast the other side. That is a beautiful switch right there, guys. Okay. And I always wipe them up. Make sure it looks nice and pretty. Pretty. And that's what the front's going to look like, right there at the bottom. Then we shall take the upper part that I already did. Take the upper part, take your 3 wires, and you just go right back down through like you did the last one. Right down through these holes. Sometimes you have to put a couple in first, and then once the big end passes, then stick the third end in if you can't do it right off. Twist it, bend it, oh, you gotta do it. Okay. Right. And that, my friends, is how you put together a switch. Then, what did I do with those other 2 screws? Here they are, over here. Now grab those. Stick the screws in just to hold it so I don't have to stress out where my screws went. And then these things aren't going to fall apart. I'm doing this for the remote choke. So if you want a remote choke that's going to look factory on your bike, this is basically how you do it. So, the cable and the choke mechanism came off the Kawasaki Kawasaki 100. And then I took the this lever switch right here from the 125 or 175 1979. So I'm just taping these back up to the way they were because I kind of like the way it was. And I didn't have to think about it. Okay. Then it was further down here. These are going to be strapped to the handlebars anyway. And if you want to make it look pretty cool, you just go back over where you put the straps where you put your electrical tape. That's how they had it, so that's how I'm doing it. And I like it. At least for now before I put it on the bike. Okay. And that is how you do a switch. Okay, but that's not the real reason why we're doing this now. Okay, so now we got that all done. Now we're going to pop off the cover and see if we can get that the cable in. So you gotta pop this off. Once again, take a note how you're pulling it apart. Okay, it's real simple, real basic. And there's a big spring in there, a tension spring. It looks like a 6-spoke star. You can see that in there in the video. And then I'm going to take the end of the cable. I'll show you what that looks like. That looks like this right here. And it's adjustable. So if you have to adjust it, you can. Basically fits into the groove like so. But before we put it into the groove and get all situated in there, we want to rotate the piece and put this right here in here. So that's going to go like that into there. Into the groove. Oh, I lost it. Hold on, hold up. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Some of these cables are just stiff to move because of their age. It's alright. No judgment. Like that. Beautiful. Then the screw. If you put the screw back in, it's kind of difficult to do when your hands are oily. This gets tightened down. And of course it'll all have to be adjusted, which you can do when the bike is on, when it's on the bike. But basically now when I pull this choke, it's going to open up the choke, and then I'll be able to start the bike. But there's the detent on it is when I adjust it, it'll have that. I just want to make sure, verify it's opening. You can see a little hole on the side there. Oh yeah, that's opening. That's beautiful. Okay, cool beans. And that's how it is. You pull that right there, and it will choke it. And that's off choke. So now you can see how it's going to look on the handlebars. So you have your hand grip here, and then when I want to start the bike, I just choke it over, and then what do you call it? Start the bike, kick it, and then release it. And that's pretty much it. So I'm sure that looks like a little differently. I think I might have to put the detent in it, but I think I might have the wrong mechanism on that. But so it's got the nut. Oh no, no, there it goes smooth. That's correct. Just that this one uses a nut. But whatever. Screw, nut. That's how it is right there. So I'll adjust the cable when it's on the bike, and then it won't be so loosey-goosey. And that, my friends, is how I put a remote choke on my bike. And then, like I said, when I go to stop my bike, when I'm on the handlebars, move the choke over, and it will. Oh, I see what I have to tighten up that. I got to adjust the washer in there, and it'll give it a little bit of detent. But other than that, that's acceptable. I'll go with that. It's gonna be pretty cool having that up on the handlebars. No more bending down on the bike, you know. And then for the rest of the parts and pieces, which are not going to be used anytime soon, and the fact that I have this video right here for reference, I could either A, put these switches and everything else back together, but considering it for a different bike than I'm intending them to use them on, I'm just going to take them and bagatize them in a Ziploc baggie. And that is how I modified a Kawasaki remote choke. So when I put that on the handlebars, that's what it's going to look like. All the wiring will match up, and we are good to go. And that's my tip for you guys there on how to do the wiring. You know, just mark them, how to release them. And now if I get a 125 Kawasaki, which is possible, and needs a switch, which the odds of that are slim, there you go. That's what I'll have to do. Well, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you have any questions or comments. This concludes this side of the bike, the motor. So I'm going to have to do the clutch adjustment, the oil adjustment, synchronize it to the cable, and replacing all these screws with Allen heads, which I have a screw kit coming for this. I ordered a complete Allen head screw kit, and I'm going to teach you guys how to make it so that if they come right back out without really have to using heavy ramping on them. I'm going to teach you guys some old tricks of the trade when that happens. But remember, WD-40 is a great cleaner. It's not really a good lubricant. It lubricates locks That's pretty much about it. It's not a very good lubricant. However, this is the best cleaner in the world. So, you know, I don't know. I use it for everything. I use it for removing peanut butter. You can remove peanut butter with this. Stuff is great stuff. So, and I buy a lot of it. So, I'm confident saying that. Anyway, that concludes this video right here for the Kawasaki remote choke. And thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, comments, questions, anything like that. And please like my page. Thank you.